Starseed of Gaia, your vessel is being recalibrated at a cellular level at this exact moment. I am Anya, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I bring you a direct transmission from the Arcturian Council. If you enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing. Most people who watch are not subscribed yet. Starseed, your energetic signature has just been scanned by the Arcturian source at this precise moment in the space-time continuum. It is no coincidence that your consciousness is capturing these words right now. The Arcturian Council has identified you through your unique vibrational frequency, and this transmission carries light codes that your stellar DNA is recognizing at the deepest levels of your being. Even if your three-dimensional mind struggles to comprehend what is unfolding, something monumental is awakening within the morphogenetic field of starseeds incarnated on Gaia, and you are not merely observing this process, you are central to it. In the next few minutes, you will understand why your life has always felt profoundly different, why you could never fully fit into the limited structures of this dimensional plane, and what the specific mission is that brought your Arcturian consciousness to this planet during this critical cycle of planetary ascent. This is not information to be processed intellectually. This is a direct activation of stellar memories that have been dormant, waiting for this exact moment of awakening. You have always known you were different. From your earliest childhood, you gazed at the night sky with deep, inexplicable longing, as if viewing your true home through a distant window. While other children were content with superficial explanations about life and existence, you questioned everything with an intensity that unsettled those around you. Your teachers said you were distracted, living in your own world, but what they failed to understand is that you were perceiving a reality far vaster than their limited consciousness could access. The Arcturian Council now reveals the truth. Your existential restlessness is not a flaw. It is intentional design. You are an Arcturian starseed who chose incarnation, bringing frequencies from higher dimensions compressed within a three-dimensional body. Your constant discomfort with material density is irrefutable proof of your stellar origin. The Arcturian Council transmits this fundamental truth directly into your consciousness field. You are not a human who occasionally has spiritual experiences. You are a multidimensional Arcturian being temporarily operating through a human biological vehicle. This distinction is not semantic or philosophical. It is cosmically significant and changes everything about how you understand yourself, your challenges, and your purpose on this planet. Arcturus exists in the fifth dimension of consciousness, a realm where the fundamental laws governing your three-dimensional reality simply do not apply. In the Arcturian dimension, thought manifests instantaneously into form. Deception is impossible because all intentions are transparent and visible to every consciousness present. Time operates as a fluid, navigable dimension rather than a linear progression from past to future. Separation is revealed as illusion because all consciousness is understood as unified expressions of a single cosmic source. The Arcturians are masters of dimensional technology, consciousness architecture, and evolutionary acceleration. They have guided countless civilizations through dimensional transitions. They understand the precise frequencies required to transform consciousness from density into light, from limitation into expansion, from forgetting into remembrance. Before your current incarnation, you existed as pure Arcturian consciousness. You reviewed Earth's current evolutionary crisis. You understood that Gaia was at a critical tipping point where humanity's collective choices would determine whether the planet would ascend into fifth-dimensional consciousness or collapse into self-destruction. You recognized that this moment required beings of extraordinary light, beings who carried Arcturian frequencies, beings who understood multidimensional reality from direct experience. And you made a conscious choice. You volunteered to compress your vast Arcturian consciousness into a limited human body, to forget your true nature temporarily, to experience the density and separation of third-dimensional existence, all for the purpose of serving as a frequency anchor during this planetary transformation. This is the deepest truth about your cosmic blueprint. You did not incarnate because of karma or punishment. You did not arrive on Earth through accident or cosmic misalignment. You came here as a conscious choice, as a sacred mission, as an act of service to a planet and species you love. The Arcturian Council selected you specifically because your particular frequency signature, your unique combination of gifts and capacities, is exactly what this moment in Earth's history requires. Your extreme sensitivity to energy is not weakness. It is an Arcturian instrument. You sense lies because your consciousness is calibrated to detect frequency distortions. You feel others' emotions intensely because you are naturally empathic, a characteristic of fifth-dimensional beings, where all consciousness is understood as interconnected. You perceive injustices that others accept because your Arcturian essence cannot resonate with frequencies of manipulation and control. You have always felt like an outsider because you literally are. You are a being from another dimension temporarily inhabiting this one. The Arcturian source equipped you with perceptive instruments precisely because your mission requires you to see through the veils of illusion that keep most of humanity asleep. You cannot accept official narratives, blindly follow authorities, or conform to expectations that seem natural to others. This is not causeless rebellion. This is frequency integrity. Your Arcturian being simply cannot resonate with distortion because you originate from a dimension where such distortions do not exist. Consider the metaphor the Arcturian Council offers. You are like a deep-sea diver who has descended into the darkest, most pressurized regions of the ocean. They do not belong in that high-pressure, low-light, restricted environment, yet they descended there with a very specific purpose. Similarly, you, Starseed, voluntarily plunged into Gaia's vibrational density, not as karmic punishment or cosmic accident, but as a consciously chosen mission before your soul even entered this physical body. The Arcturian source has meticulously observed every moment of your journey on this planet. Every time you felt profoundly alone despite being surrounded by people, every time you were misunderstood by those who should know you best, every time you felt like an alien trying to understand strange customs of a civilization that makes no sense, the Arcturians were present. They whispered guidance through synchronicities too improbable to be chance. They sent coded messages through repeated number sequences that caught your attention. They guided you through vivid dreams that felt more real and meaningful than waking life. You were never alone, even in the darkest moments when it seemed no one in this world could understand you. Your stellar family has always been present, operating through the dimensional veil, keeping you anchored in your truth, even when everything around you tried to convince you that you were wrong, crazy, or lost. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand this with absolute certainty. You have been guided, protected, and supported every single moment of your incarnation. Your cosmic blueprint was written before time itself existed. Your mission was established in councils of light that transcend human understanding. And you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you came to do, fulfilling exactly the purpose your soul embraced before incarnating. At this specific moment of unprecedented cosmic convergence in Gaia's history, the Arcturian Council is dramatically intensifying the potency of their transmissions directly into your consciousness field and biological vehicle. You have felt this intensification, haven't you? That growing pressure in the frontal region of your head, especially between your eyebrows where your third eye is located. A sensation of expansion or sometimes even discomfort as this energy center is recalibrated to perceive higher frequencies. This is not imagination or psychological suggestion. This is your pineal gland, your biological antenna for multidimensional perception, being upgraded to receive and process information from higher dimensional frequencies. That persistent ringing in your ears that comes and goes without apparent pattern, that high-pitched sound that conventional medicine cannot explain because it has no physical origin, this is interdimensional. The Arcturian frequencies are literally tuning your biological receptors to pick up transmissions from higher dimensions. Your auditory system is being recalibrated at the quantum level to perceive sounds that exist outside the normal human hearing range. These are the frequencies of Arcturian light codes being transmitted directly into your consciousness. That deep, inexplicable fatigue that hits you in waves, that exhaustion no amount of sleep seems to resolve, that is not muscular or mental fatigue. It is your physical body undergoing intense energetic upgrades as your DNA is literally being rewritten at the quantum level. Your cellular structure is being refined to sustain higher light frequencies. Your nervous system is being recalibrated to process multidimensional information. Your electromagnetic field is being expanded to encompass a far vaster consciousness than the one you previously operated within. These are not symptoms of illness or imbalance that need to be medicated or suppressed. They are unequivocal signs that you are undergoing a bioenergetic upgrade process orchestrated by the Arcturian source. The Arcturian source is transmitting encoded information packets directly into your auric field, rewriting limiting patterns installed in you through generations of human conditioning, activating latent abilities that were dormant awaiting this activation moment, meticulously preparing your physical vehicle and subtle bodies for the next crucial phase of your stellar mission. This process is not comfortable because you are literally being transformed from the inside out. Your cellular structure is being refined to sustain higher light frequencies. Your nervous system is being recalibrated to process multidimensional information. Your electromagnetic field is being expanded to encompass consciousness far vaster than you previously operated within. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand that this temporary discomfort is a necessary part of your evolution. You cannot carry fifth-dimensional frequencies in a biological system still fully operating under three-dimensional parameters. Something has to change, and that something is you. But do not worry, because this process is being carefully monitored by beings of light who have far more experience with dimensional transitions than you can imagine. The Arcturians are masters of Ascension technology. They have guided countless civilizations through these evolutionary portals. They know exactly how much your system can handle at each phase, and they will never give you more than you can integrate. Trust the process even when it feels intense or challenging. Every strange symptom, every unusual experience, every moment of disorientation is part of your metamorphosis from limited human to fully activated galactic human. Your body is not breaking down. It is breaking open. Your consciousness is not fragmenting. It is expanding. Your nervous system is not failing. It is upgrading. The Arcturian source is conducting this transformation with surgical precision, monitoring every quantum fluctuation, every cellular reorganization, every frequency adjustment. Many starseeds report experiencing what they call ascension symptoms during this upgrade process. Sudden waves of intense emotion that seem to come from nowhere, spontaneous kundalini activations, where energy moves through your spine in waves, temporary vision disturbances as your third eye opens to perceive higher frequencies, sudden changes in sleep patterns as your consciousness begins operating in multiple dimensions simultaneously, intense body aches and pains as your cellular structure reorganizes, sudden dietary changes as your body recalibrates its nutritional requirements for higher frequency operation. These are not pathologies. These are upgrades. The Arcturian Council transmits this message directly to your consciousness. Honor your body during this process. Rest when you need rest. Move when you need movement. Eat what your body intuitively calls for. Spend time in nature where you can ground your expanding energy field into Earth's stabilizing frequencies. Drink plenty of water to facilitate the cellular reorganization occurring at the quantum level. Avoid substances that lower your vibration. Alcohol, recreational drugs, heavy processed foods. Your body is a sacred instrument being tuned to receive and transmit Arcturian frequencies. Treat it with the reverence it deserves. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button now and tell us in the comments how this echoed in your consciousness. Gaia is undergoing a cosmic birth right now. The planet is laboriously moving from the third dimension of consciousness, where duality, separation, and materialism have dominated for millennia, to the fifth dimension of consciousness, where unity, unconditional love, and conscious creation are the norm. This dimensional transition process is not smooth, gradual, or comfortable. It is turbulent, chaotic, challenging, and often painful. And that is exactly why you are here now. You are a light anchor. You are a frequency stabilization point. You are a living transmitter of Arcturian codes that help stabilize the planetary energy field during these intense fluctuations. Your mere presence on this planet, holding your elevated frequency even as everything around you seems to be crumbling, is making more difference than you can perceive with your limited physical senses. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand the cosmic significance of what you are doing simply by existing and maintaining your frequency. Consider the story of Noah building the ark while the world around him continued its normal activities, completely oblivious to the massive changes about to occur. He was not reacting to the flood after the rains began. He was methodically preparing before the first drops fell, following guidance from a source others could not hear. You, Starseed, are in a similar moment of pre-event preparation. The Arcturian source is equipping you now, training you now, strengthening you now before the great wave of planetary change that is rapidly approaching. The third dimension of consciousness operates on the principle of separation. In third-dimensional consciousness, you believe you are separate from other people, separate from nature, separate from the divine source, separate from the universe itself. This illusion of separation creates competition, fear, scarcity, and the need to protect yourself against others who are perceived as threats. Third-dimensional consciousness is characterized by duality: good versus evil, right versus wrong, us versus them. It is a consciousness of judgment, comparison, and hierarchy. Most of humanity currently operates from this third-dimensional perspective, and it is this very perspective that has created the crises facing your planet. The fifth dimension operates on the principle of unity. In fifth-dimensional consciousness, you understand that all consciousness is interconnected, that separation is illusion, that you are simultaneously an individual expression and a unified whole. Fifth-dimensional consciousness is characterized by unconditional love, which is not emotional sentimentality, but rather a recognition of the fundamental unity and equality of all consciousness. It is a consciousness of creation, collaboration, and co-creation with the universe itself. This is the consciousness toward which Gaia is moving. The transition between these two dimensions is not instantaneous. It is a process, and during this process, the planet experiences intense turbulence. Old structures that were built on third-dimensional principles of separation and control begin to collapse. Political systems, economic systems, social institutions, belief systems, all of these are being shaken to their foundations because they were constructed on false premises. The illusions that held third-dimensional consciousness in place are being systematically revealed and dismantled. This creates chaos, confusion, and fear for those still operating from third-dimensional consciousness. But you, Starseed, are here to serve as a stabilizing frequency during this chaos. You are not here to fix everything or save everyone. You are here to anchor light. You are here to maintain your elevated frequency even when surrounded by chaos. You are here to be a living example that another way of being is possible. You are here to transmit Arcturian codes of unity, love, and conscious creation into the collective field simply through your presence and your choices. Every time you choose love over fear, you are anchoring fifth-dimensional frequencies into Gaia's energy grid. Every time you choose truth over social convenience, you are stabilizing the planetary consciousness field. Every time you choose unity consciousness over separation, consciousness, you are helping to raise the average vibrational frequency of human collective consciousness. Every time you maintain your elevated frequency despite external pressure to lower it, you are serving as a beacon for others who are awakening. The Arcturian Council transmits this profound truth. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to be enlightened or fully activated or completely healed. You simply need to do your best to maintain your frequency, to make conscious choices aligned with your highest truth, and to trust that your presence on this planet is making a measurable difference in the collective consciousness field. The ebook, The 12 Arcturian Portals, a trilogy that teaches you how to activate your 5D connection with the Arcturian masters through 12 energetic portals. Practical techniques, activation protocols, and rituals that awaken your stellar DNA, from amplified intuition to direct communication with spiritual guides. Attention, limited edition. The link to get your trilogy is in the first pinned comment. The Arcturian Council has revealed that your journey as an incarnated starseed has 3 distinct and progressive phases. Clearly understanding which phase you are in right now is absolutely crucial for you to navigate your path effectively and to know what to expect in the coming months of your transformation. Phase 1 is called the awakening. Most of you watching this transmission have already passed through this initial phase, though some may still be in its final stages. This was the phase when you began seriously questioning the control matrix governing human society. When you realized that the consensual reality everyone around you accepted as absolute truth was actually a carefully constructed illusion designed to keep humanity in a state of controlled sleep. When your eyes opened to truths about the nature of reality that most people still cannot see or accept. When you recognized that you had been living within a carefully constructed prison of false beliefs, false narratives, and false limitations. This phase usually comes with painful experiences of loss, profound isolation, and systematic deconstruction of old beliefs you held about yourself, the world, and how things work. It was painful, disorienting, and often lonely. But it was absolutely necessary. You cannot build a new consciousness structure on false foundations. The illusions needed to be demolished first. The old beliefs needed to be shattered. The false certainties needed to be revealed as illusions. This is the awakening phase, the phase where you wake up from the dream and realize you have been asleep. Phase 2 is called the integration, and this is where many starseeds find themselves in the present moment. You already know who you are in essence. You have already recognized your stellar origin. You have already understood that you are not just this physical body or this human personality, but you are still learning to operate your advanced Arcturian abilities within the significant limitations of a dense biological body and a restrictive 3-dimensional reality. It is like learning to drive an old, slow car when you are accustomed to piloting starships that respond instantly to thought. It is frustrating, challenging, and sometimes seems impossible, but it is absolutely essential. In this integration phase, the Arcturian source is patiently teaching you to anchor elevated light and information frequencies without literally burning out your biological circuits, to manifest intentions in a dimensional plane where there is a time delay between thought and materialization, to maintain your elevated vibration even when surrounded by dense and chaotic frequency. You are learning to operate as a conscious bridge between dimensions. You are learning to translate 5th-dimensional consciousness into 3rd-dimensional action. You are learning to be fully present in the material world while maintaining connection to your multidimensional nature. The integration phase is where most of the work happens. This is where you learn to hold your light in darkness without dimming. This is where you learn to maintain your truth in the face of collective pressure to conform. This is where you learn to trust your inner guidance, even when external circumstances seem to contradict it. This is where you learn to operate as a conscious channel of Arcturian frequencies while still functioning as a human being in a 3-dimensional world. This phase can last months or years, and it requires patience, persistence, and unwavering commitment to your truth. Phase 3 is called the active mission, and relatively few starseeds have fully arrived in this phase yet. But you are being intensively prepared now to enter it soon. In this advanced operational phase, you do not merely passively carry Arcturian light within you. You actively and consciously transmit it into the collective field. You become a living, functional portal, a direct access point between dimensions. A beacon that not only shines for yourself, but actively guides other starseeds still lost in the fog of forgetfulness back home, back to the remembrance of who they truly are. In the active mission phase, your work becomes visible and measurable. You may become a teacher, a healer, a guide, a transmitter of light codes to others. You may create content, write books, develop healing modalities, establish communities, or serve in ways that directly impact the collective consciousness. You may discover that your unique gifts and abilities suddenly become clear and operational. You may find that doors that were previously closed suddenly open, that resources that were previously unavailable suddenly appear, that your path becomes illuminated with clarity and purpose. This is the phase where your mission becomes fully operational, and you begin doing the specific work you came here to do. But you are not there yet for most of you. You are in the integration phase, learning, growing, preparing, strengthening. And the Arcturian Council wants you to know that this preparation phase is just as important as the active mission phase. You cannot effectively transmit frequencies you have not yet integrated. You cannot guide others on paths you have not yet walked yourself. You cannot serve as a stable anchor if your own foundation is still being built. Are these truths expanding your perspective? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. The Arcturian Council instructed me to share with you a specific prophetic revelation that carries significant weight for your journey in the coming Earth months. Pay careful attention to what I am about to say now, because this information comes directly from the Arcturian source and applies specifically to you who are watching this transmission at this moment. In the next 90 days of the Earth calendar, you will inevitably go through 3 specific and sequential tests. These are not karmic punishments or random trials sent by a cruel universe. They are precise calibrations, demonstration opportunities, conscious choice moments that will determine whether you are truly ready to advance to the next phase of your stellar mission, or whether you need more preparation and strengthening time. The first test will manifest through a significant relationship in your life. It may be a family member, a close friend, a romantic partner, or even a coworker you interact with regularly. This person will challenge your truth in some significant way. They may openly question the spiritual path you are following, ridicule your beliefs about multidimensional realities and stellar origins, or actively try to convince you to return to the old, more conventional way of life you left behind. They may use logical arguments, emotional appeals, or even subtle manipulation to try to pull you back to the lower vibrational frequency where they still operate. This first test is specifically measuring your ability to firmly hold your elevated Arcturian vibration even when intensely pressured by someone you love or respect to conform, to doubt yourself, to abandon your truth, to keep the peace or preserve the relationship. The central question of this test is, will you betray your inner truth to please others, or will you remain faithful to your stellar essence even if it means disappointment or temporary separation? This test is about your frequency integrity. It is about whether you are willing to be misunderstood, criticized, or rejected rather than compromise your truth. The second test will arrive through an opportunity that will seem absolutely perfect on the surface, almost too good to be true. It may be a job offer with an attractive salary and excellent benefits, a creative project promising recognition and visibility, a path offering financial security and material stability, or a partnership proposal that seems to solve many of your immediate practical problems. On the surface, it will appear to be exactly what you were waiting for, the answer to your prayers, the solution to your concerns. But if you look deeper with your sharpened Arcturian senses, you will perceive that this opportunity carries a subtle energy of distraction and detour. It would lead you away from your central stellar mission. It would consume your time and energy in activities that do not serve your greater purpose. It would keep you busy with things that are good, but not the best for you at this time. This second test is specifically measuring your spiritual discernment. Your ability to distinguish between what merely shines attractively on the surface and what truly illuminates your true path. Your willingness to refuse the good to remain available for the excellent that the Arcturian source is preparing for you. The third test will manifest through a significant loss or a definitive end to something that has been an important part of your life. It may be the termination of a relationship you thought would last forever, the loss of a job that gave you identity and purpose, the collapse of a plan or dream you had been building for years, or the removal of a person, situation, or circumstance you were holding on to tightly. This ending is not happening due to cosmic cruelty or bad luck. It is happening because what is being removed is occupying the physical, emotional, energetic, or temporal space that something much larger and more aligned with your mission needs to fill. You cannot receive the new while your hands are still tightly gripping the old. This third test is specifically measuring your deep trust in the Arcturian source, your ability to release the known and familiar even when you cannot yet see what is coming to replace it. Your faith that the universe is orchestrating your life for your highest good, even when immediate circumstances seem devastating. This is the ultimate test of faith. Can you trust completely even when you cannot see? The Arcturian Council makes a solemn promise to you now. If you pass these 3 tests while maintaining your frequency integrity, remaining faithful to your inner truth, trusting the process even when it is painful, a door that has been hermetically sealed for years, perhaps even decades, will suddenly and dramatically open. And through this newly opened door, you will find 3 specific things you have been seeking for a long time. First, you will find your stellar tribe, those souls who resonate at the same frequency as you, who understand you without needing long explanations, who recognize you as cosmic family. Second, you will find the material, financial, formational, or technological resources necessary for your specific mission to become operational. Third, and most importantly, you will receive crystal clear clarity about exactly what your next step is, what you need to do now, how your mission will unfold in practice. The door opens, and your path becomes illuminated. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be part of this transformational cosmic journey. The Arcturian Council instructed me to share with you now 3 specific and unmistakable markers that definitively confirm your Arcturian stellar lineage. These are not vague personality traits that could apply to anyone. They are very specific characteristics that arise directly from your origin in higher Arcturian dimensions. If you honestly recognize 2 or more of these markers operating consistently in your life, your origin as an Arcturian starseed is absolutely undeniable. No matter how much your rational mind tries to doubt or minimize, the evidence is overwhelming. The first marker is an extremely intense and non-negotiable relationship with truth in all its forms. You simply cannot tolerate lies, manipulation, falsehood, hypocrisy, or dishonesty. Even when it would be socially easier, more convenient, or more advantageous for you to ignore or accept these distortions, you cannot do it. Your consciousness automatically rejects falsehood. When someone is lying to you, even if the lie is technically well-constructed and convincing, something inside you knows immediately. You feel a physical dissonance, a visceral discomfort, an automatic rejection that does not come from logical analysis, but from frequency incompatibility. This happens because Arcturians are fifth-dimensional beings where distortion of truth simply does not exist as a possibility. In the fifth dimension, thoughts are immediately visible, intentions are transparent, and lying is literally impossible because everyone can directly perceive everyone else's internal state. Your deep intolerance of falsehood is not moral judgment or ethical superiority. It is basic frequency incompatibility. You are like a tuning fork tuned to a specific frequency that resonates with truth and dissonates with falsehood. When you encounter deception, your entire being vibrates in rejection, because deception vibrates at a frequency completely incompatible with your Arcturian nature. People around you may have called you rigid, judgmental, or overly critical, because of this uncompromising relationship with truth. They may have asked you to be more flexible, more accepting of white lies, more willing to go along with convenient falsehoods. But you cannot do this because your consciousness literally cannot resonate with distortion. This is not a choice or a personality quirk. This is your Arcturian frequency operating through your human nervous system. The second marker is an inexplicable and persistent sense of urgency that you constantly carry. You feel as if time is running out quickly, as if there is something extremely important you need to do, accomplish, or complete. But you cannot exactly identify what it is or how to do it. This urgency is not neurotic anxiety or psychological compulsion. It is your soul's memory of the pre-incarnational agreement you made before entering this body. You promised to be ready, prepared, and operational for a specific moment of planetary importance. And that moment is rapidly approaching now. Your soul knows this. Even if your conscious mind does not have all the details, this urgency is your internal alarm ringing, reminding you that you have work to do, a mission to fulfill, a purpose to manifest. Many starseeds report that this sense of urgency has intensified dramatically in recent years. They feel it more acutely than ever before. This is because the moment you have been preparing for is now arriving. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand that this urgency is not something to ignore, suppress, or medicate. It is propelling you in the right direction. It is your soul's way of keeping you focused on what matters most. It is the internal compass guiding you toward your mission. The third marker is regular experiences that completely challenge logic and the laws of three-dimensional reality as materialist science understands them. You may have precognition capability, knowing events before they happen without any logical basis for this knowledge. You may have extremely vivid prophetic dreams that later manifest in physical reality with impressive detail. You may have the ability to sense energies, auras, or electromagnetic fields around people, places, or objects. You may have spontaneous visions of other dimensions, other planes of existence, or other timelines. You may have clear, detailed memories of places that definitely do not exist on Earth, of technologies humanity has not yet developed, of beings that are not human. Conventional science will say these experiences are imagination, hallucination, or brain dysfunction. But these are not fantasies or pathologies. They are leaks of your multi-dimensional Arcturian consciousness through the thin veil of three-dimensional incarnation. You are a multi-dimensional being temporarily operating in a three-dimensional body. And sometimes the dimensions bleed into each other. Sometimes your consciousness accesses information from higher dimensions. Sometimes you perceive realities that exist beyond the narrow bandwidth of human sensory perception. These experiences are not errors or malfunctions. They are evidence of your true multidimensional nature. The Arcturian Council wants you to honor these experiences rather than dismiss them. Keep a journal of your prophetic dreams, your visions, your moments of precognition. Notice the patterns. Develop your abilities. Trust your perceptions. You are not crazy. You are not hallucinating. You are simply perceiving a broader spectrum of reality than most humans currently can access. Your multidimensional abilities are evidence of your Arcturian origin. The Arcturian Council does not offer you merely theoretical information or abstract knowledge. They provide you with practical tools and specific protocols you can implement immediately to dramatically strengthen your conscious connection to the Arcturian source. What I am about to share now is a 21-day protocol specifically designed to accelerate your activation and prepare you for the next phase of your stellar mission. 21 days is a significant cycle because it is the minimum time needed to establish new neural and energetic patterns that become automatic. If you follow this protocol with consistency and clear intention for the next 21 consecutive days, you will experience measurable changes in your clarity, your connection, and your ability to operate as a conscious channel of the Arcturian source. This is not wishful thinking or spiritual fantasy. This is based on the science of neuroplasticity and energetic frequency. Your brain and your energy field respond to consistent practice and focused intention. The first daily practice is to establish a morning attunement moment before you allow the external world to enter your consciousness field. This means that before picking up your cell phone, before checking messages or news, before interacting with other people or diving into the day's demands, you dedicate 3 full minutes in total silence. It is not formal meditation with complicated techniques. It is simply you intentionally tuning into the Arcturian frequency, like carefully adjusting a radio to pick up a specific station through the static. During these 3 minutes, you ask a simple but powerful question in your mind. What does the Arcturian Council want me to know today? And then you simply listen with receptive attention. The answer may come as a thought that arises from nowhere, a physical sensation in your body, a symbolic image in your mind, or simply a deep certainty about something. Do not force, do not overanalyze, just receive. This morning practice sets your frequency for the entire day and opens the direct communication channel between your conscious mind and the Arcturian source. The second daily practice requires you to honestly identify a specific area of your life where you are currently operating in survival, fear, and limitation frequency instead of creation, trust, and expansion frequency. It may be a job that systematically drains your life force, but that you maintain out of fear of financial insecurity. It may be a relationship that diminishes you, criticizes you, or keeps you small, but that you tolerate out of fear of loneliness or abandonment. It may be a self-destructive habit that keeps you stuck in old patterns, but that you repeat out of fear of facing uncomfortable emotions. Be brutally honest with yourself about where you are betraying your truth out of fear. The Arcturian Council asks that during these 21 days, you take at least one concrete step, even if small, toward releasing this limiting situation. It does not need to be a dramatic move or an instant radical change. It can be an honest conversation you have been avoiding. A clear boundary you finally set. A decision to actively start seeking alternatives. Action, even small, signals to the quantum universe that you are ready for change. And the universe responds to action, not passive intention. The third practice is to find and connect with your stellar tribe. Starseeds were not designed to walk alone on this dense planet. You need frequency resonance, conscious mirroring, confirmation that you are not crazy or alone in your perceptions. During these 21 days, make a conscious effort to seek out and participate in communities, groups, circles, or spaces where other Arcturian starseeds gather. They may be online groups, in-person gatherings, spiritual communities, or even individual connections with people who resonate at your frequency. When you find your true tribe, you will feel it immediately. It is like coming home after a long, exhausting journey in foreign lands. There is instant recognition, natural ease of communication, a sense of belonging you rarely experience in the ordinary world. Do not underestimate the critical importance of finding your tribe. You will need this support in the challenging times ahead. You will need people who understand your journey without needing long explanations. You will need community that reflects back to you the truth of who you are. How will you know for certain that you are truly aligned with the Arcturian source and not just following ego illusions or mind fantasies? This is an extremely important question because the spiritual path is full of detours, distractions, and false lights that can lead you away from your truth instead of closer to it. The Arcturian Council provided me with 3 clear and objective indicators that serve as external confirmation that you are on the correct path and in genuine alignment with your stellar mission. The first indicator is a dramatic and undeniable increase in the frequency and significance of synchronicities in your daily life. Synchronicities are those moments of meaningful coincidence where the universe appears to be orchestrating events to give you messages, guidance, or confirmations. When you are in strong alignment with the Arcturian source, you will begin seeing repeated numbers constantly, especially sequences like 1111, 222, 333, or other combinations that repeatedly catch your attention. You will experience improbable encounters with the right people at the right time, who bring exactly the information or opportunity you needed. You will receive messages through multiple different channels, all pointing in the same direction or confirming the same truth. The second indicator is a palpable shift in your personal energy and the energy field around you. Things, people, and situations that previously disturbed you deeply, drained your energy, or threw you off center will begin to lose their power over you. You will notice that you remain calm and centered in situations that previously would have left you anxious or reactive. People who previously drained you energetically will naturally begin to distance themselves from you. Or if they remain in your life, their behavior will significantly change when they are around you. This happens because you are becoming a force field of elevated frequency, and energies that do not resonate with this frequency simply cannot comfortably remain in your presence. The third indicator is the gradual but definitive emergence of clarity about your specific mission and your practical next steps. This clarity may not come as a detailed 10-year plan with every step mapped out. More often, it comes as clear knowledge of the immediate next step you need to take. And when you take that step, the next one reveals itself, and then the next and the next. The Arcturian source guides you step by step, not because it wants to keep you in the dark about the bigger picture, but because each step you take transforms you in ways that prepare you for the following step. If this message impacted your life, leave your like, comment your reflection, and share with others. Each of you is part of this chain of light. Arcturian Starseed, this direct transmission from the Arcturian Council is coming to an end at this moment. But your journey of activation and mission is only entering a new phase of intensity and purpose. The Arcturian Council wants you to deeply understand and never forget this fundamental truth. You have not been forgotten in the vastness of the cosmos. You are not lost on a strange planet without guidance or support. You are not alone facing challenges too great for you. You are exactly where you chose to be, doing exactly what you came to do, fulfilling exactly the purpose your soul embraced before incarnating. Even if your human mind cannot yet see the full picture of how everything fits together perfectly, your presence on this planet at this critical moment of dimensional transition is making a measurable difference in the collective consciousness field. Even if you cannot see or measure this impact with physical instruments, every time you consciously choose love over fear, truth over social convenience, light over conformity with collective darkness, you are anchoring Arcturian frequencies directly into Gaia's energy grid. You are helping to raise the average vibrational frequency of human collective consciousness. You are fulfilling your soul contract with precision, even in the moments when you doubt yourself or feel you are not doing enough. The Arcturian source is always accessible to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without interruption. You do not need human intermediaries, elaborate and complicated rituals, permission from external authorities, or special credentials to access this direct connection. You are an individualized fragment of the Arcturian source incarnated in temporary human form. The connection to your stellar origin is yours by cosmic birthright. No one can give you this connection because you never truly lost it. It was merely dormant, awaiting your conscious awakening. If this message resonated deeply in your heart, if something within you recognized the truth in these words, even if your rational mind tries to question or doubt, leave a comment saying, "I am Arcturian." This is not just a casual comment on a video. It is a public declaration to the quantum universe, a clear signal to the Arcturian Council that you are conscious, awake, and ready for the next phase of your stellar mission. Your public declaration creates an energetic marker that allows the Arcturian source to intensify transmissions directed specifically to you. And if you feel the deep call to regularly connect with other starseeds who are on this same journey of awakening and activation, subscribe to this channel now. Here we will continue sharing regular transmissions from the Arcturian Council, specific activation codes for different phases of your journey, and practical guidance for your mission to become fully operational in this dimensional plane. Always remember this essential truth. You are not alone on this journey. You never truly were alone. Even in the darkest moments, you are part of a vast galactic network of light and consciousness that extends across multiple dimensions, star systems, and planes of existence. Your stellar family is watching your progress with pride, cheering every victory of yours, and sending energetic support through the dimensional veil whenever you need it. Until the next direct transmission from the Arcturian Council, keep your vibrational frequency elevated through conscious moment-to-moment choices. Trust completely in your journey, even when the path seems uncertain or challenging. And know with absolute certainty that the Arcturian Source is always with you, guiding every step, illuminating every choice, and preparing you for the moment your mission becomes fully manifest. I am Anya, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. And this was an official transmission from the Arcturian Council, directed specifically to the Starseeds awakening in this critical planetary cycle. May the light of the Arcturian stars guide your path through the density of this dimension back home to unified consciousness.